Whenever there's an execution, there are protesters. Dozens of people gathered outside the Florida State Prison tonight to protest the death penalty and Barwick's killing. As News 13's Jake Holter tells us, folks young and old condemned the execution in what turned into a religious service outside.
There's a way to be strong on crime, and it doesn't mean that we have to become criminals ourselves.
More than 70 people attended a protest outside the Florida State Prison in opposition to the execution of Bay County death row inmate Barwick. Fred Roos is a Catholic priest and has been protesting executions since the early 90s.
I've continued to come out here to make sure that there's a witness to a voice other than saying this is being done in my name. Instead, it's not being done in my name, and there are many other people like me who can't be here but who are gathered in other places throughout the state in gatherings such as this, who are not at all in agreement with this at all, that there are other ways of responding to crime.
Nearly 60 years his junior, Nashley Vasquez, was also at the death penalty protest.
From very early on, we're taught that all life is sacred from the womb to the tomb, our teacher says. So we are taught that all of this is wrong and that we shouldn't kill someone just because they killed someone else. It's not going to change anything.
At the tender age of 14, she has already attended 3 anti-execution protests, while just across the street, an inmate was being put to death.
If this was my friend, this was my brother, or this was my cousin or my friend, or even maybe one day if it was my son on death row, I wouldn't want just anyone killed just because they killed someone else. It's just plain wrong.
Roos also took a swipe at the current administration in his critique of capital punishment.
And over the years, we've had different administrations in Tallahassee who've been at this with more gusto than others, and so our current administration is trying to reach a kind of fever pitch here to do this with even more regularity.
The protest/vigil concluded in worship and song. In Rayford, Jake Holter, News 13, Panhandle Strong.
There are at least half a dozen more Bay County men currently sitting on Florida's death row.